Good morning. Happy Friday, y'all. How is it going? Is it spring? Where are you joining me from this morning? Let's hop on over to Instagram and go live there. And then let's go to Facebook, not and then YouTube. It's just all the buttons you have to click. How y'all doing? How's the weather? It is glorious outside. Um, I wish I had some outside meetings, but I don't. But tell me where you are joining from and what's the weather like? Do you have wonderful spring weather? I hope so. Good morning, Shauna. I know another successful week completed. You're right about that. Spring is springing in Atlanta. Good. And hopefully, ooh, I've been reading about, well, honestly, the lines are bad everywhere, but Atlanta seems to always make the list. But I don't know. Houston's airports are pretty bad too. So I hope it's going to get better soon. Hi, Anita. Also from the ATL. The ATL is always showing up in the house. Always, always, always showing up in the house. I am, so we have a special guest this morning, so I'm checking in on her. To, okay, I don't see her yet. Or we're just going to keep chit chatting. We are going to keep chit chatting. Oh, the airports. I know, I know. So, y'all know, I often switch up the locations for our Friday morning chats, right? And this morning I had this idea because I'm doing an interview that it should not be at the kitchen counter. And so every time I decide to do this in a new location, I always think, oh, it's not going to be any problem. I'm just going to throw some lights up and it's always something. But we're here, we're live, super excited. Let's let's move the studio yet again. So working on a vlog that should be ready to go live on a fashion vlog, go live on Monday. Super excited about that. Good morning, guys, over on Instagram. How are y'all doing? Good morning. Good morning. So I'm checking on our guest. Good morning, Mary. Hi, All About Food. What's going on there in Boston? So, you guys, oftentimes I hop on, I start chit chatting with y'all because I see all the girls in the chat. And it's like, oh, Angel, you did not introduce yourself. So, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Angel. I'm Angel, the founder of Maison 276, creator of the award winning 3-step system for silver gray and blonde hair, a healthy way to brighten, cleanse, and restore the natural brilliance of your hair without purple dyes. Available at Walmart and Amazon. And so we meet here as a community every Friday morning. We talk about a lot of different issues, not always hair care, fashion, lifestyle, wellness. Whatever the topic is important to you, the woman who is unapologetically growing bolder. And oftentimes the topics and our guests come from the community. And so today we have a special guest. We do get a treat this morning, and I'm checking to see if she is in the waiting room. Oh, here she is. Oh my gosh, we did it. Oh my God. Okay, let's get her on. Here she is. Oh, we did it.
Yay! Good morning. Good morning. Good
Let me
morning.
read her grand introduction that I wrote. Our next guest is someone who represents exactly what our space is all about. She is a woman who's evolving, redefining, and stepping boldly into new chapters. And if you've been rocking with us for a while, you've definitely seen Sister Girl Chronicles in the chat, showing up, supporting, and pouring into the community. And today we get to bring her from the chat to the stage.
Yes.
Good morning, Cassandra.
Good morning from chilly Chicago.
Okay, so Chicago has not warmed up yet. Okay, thank you
Well,
so much.
it was
First of
70
all, I
degrees
want to
yesterday.
first of all, I have to thank the 14 people who stayed on while I was working through all of the technical difficulties. But as I began to doing more and more research about you, I was just even more fascinated about your story and your journey and how you got to being one of the nation's number one vacation blogger for over 50. So, one of the things I always want to do is give people the opportunity to introduce themselves. And so, please introduce yourself, and then we'll dive into questions as well as questions from the audience.
Great, great. And thank you for having me. Actually, I was saying yesterday it was 70 degrees in Chicago. Today it's like 35. So spring is around somewhere. It's coming back. It's coming back, you know. So I am Cassandra Washington and the founder of Sister Girl Chronicles. I am a retired educator, retired, semi retired. I guess we could say that, right? We're semi retired. I worked in Chicago public schools for 28, 29 years or so. Started out as a teacher, assistant principal, retired as a principal. And I'm in Chicago. I'm a true believer of public education, continuous learning, and I just kind of started this journey. And over time, I guess 2026 is my year because now it's starting to morph into okay, you're kind of like a subject matter expert, and so I'll take it.
Okay. So you had several major pivots, actually. I told you I did my research. And so, to your point, you spent 27 years in education and then experienced a major and somewhat unexpected career disruption. Can you kind of briefly, walk us through that and tell us what did that force you to consider because you knew you still had a lot more life to live.
Exactly. Well, when I was a principal, Chicago's a very political town, even in education. So, my eighth year of being a principal, I was kind of pushed out. There were some things going on um, in the system where they were pushing out quite a few principals over the age of 50 and who had years of experience. So I guess in some ways we were too expensive. So that was a shock to me, of course, because I dedicated so many years. You give 100% to the profession, to the children, to the community that you work in. So once I was pushed out, I was kind of left like, okay, what do I do now? I've been an educator for all these years, and then to the point where it was affecting my health too. Because one day I woke up and you have that worst headache you've ever had in your life, and my blood pressure was like 199 over 120. Yes, yes, and
That's stroke
I
territory.
was, yes, literally, I was going there. I was going there. But that day God was with me. My doctor took the time to talk to me and put some sense in my brain. she said, she said, all you're going through, you've been my patient for 20 years. You don't have high blood pressure. You can give that up or give your life up. Which one are you going to choose?
Wow.
I said, since you said it like that,
Right.
I'm not going to fight so hard for this, to get back in this system that doesn't want me. So I had to do a pivot. But I didn't go into the travel writing and things right away. Uh, my sister and I were also caretaking. So we had that going on too. So I had to figure out what do you really want to do now? You have all these
Now,
things.
you also had some experience in publishing. You are an author. You created a superhero series. This was before Black Panther and Marvel were all the rage. So tell us about that.
Well, in my younger years, I was dating an artist, and he drew comic books, and he wrote comic books. And one day I was like, okay, let's do a comic book together. So we created, actually, she's Sister Girl. Sister Girl.
That's the original Sister
That's
Girl.
the original Sister Girl. She was a teacher by day and a superhero at night. And she was cleaning up the neighborhood at night.
I love it.
And so from there, I did a newsletter back in the 90s. Now, this is like 1992, 1994, 5. I did a newsletter called Sister Girl Chronicles. But it wasn't internet then, it was
Right. It
paper.
was literally paper.
It was paper, yes. And I still have a copy of the first one. I still have copies of the comic book too. And so I was like, when all this happened, I was like, let's bring back Sister Girl. So I started
She was
writing.
still alive right here.
Right. So I started the blog, and at first it wasn't travel; it was more like current events and things that were just going on. And as I got more into travel, that's when I said, okay, let me start writing about these trips.
You and Sister Girl pivoted.
Yes.
I love this. And I brought all of this up because oftentimes I say that women don't give themselves credit for all of the skills and experiences that make that make you uniquely you. We do these amazing things and then we go on to something else and we don't realize like all of those experiences, all of those things is exactly like all of those things are your superpower. It's actually not one thing, it's all
Exactly.
of them combined. And I love how you revive something from your past that you thought was just like a fleeting fun project. And now, decades later, you're literally being recognized for something you created, over 30 years ago.
Oh, yes. 1992, 1993 or so is when
Exactly.
it
Which
came out.
to me and you, that doesn't really seem like that far,
I know.
that long ago.
I know.
Now, you talked a little bit about one health scare, but then you also had another one that helped you redefine really what living means to you. So I want you to share that as well. And first of all, y'all, I didn't do an FBI report. I just did some Google research on Sister Girl Chronicles. She has been very transparent about her journey, and we just don't talk about that here. But I'm giving her a platform because I just think it's so important for us to hear each other's stories and realize that we're not alone. So go
Yeah.
ahead.
So in December of 2019, did my annual mammogram, and I'm always uh, saying to women, please get those annual mammograms. And they found a lump, and went through the whole ultrasound. Get a call around December 23rd, because I remember it was my mother's birthday, that it was cancer. So February of 2020, and think about
COVID.
2020, COVID, COVID. So I had my surgery, started my treatment during the pandemic. So you couldn't have anyone go with you and things
Yeah.
like that. Except when I had the surgery, I was able to take my family. But right after that, they shut everything down. So that whole thing of having breast cancer, just hearing the word cancer, first of all, that's kind of traumatic. But what I will
No, it's
say,
very traumatic. You don't have to minimize it.
it is. It is. Fortunately, I had a very good family and friends who just kind of surrounded me. We were all very faithful. Having that faith is very important too. My best friend at the time, she was going through lung cancer.
Mm.
She didn't survive, but she was working with me and talking me through my treatment, and what to expect and things like that. But my sister and I have four really good friends that I've known since high school.
Oh,
They were checking on me, bringing me food, doing all kinds of things. If I needed them, I could pick up the phone. So everybody that was important to me just really just embraced the moment and said, "We got this." Uh,
um, talking about having cancer during COVID, that's actually the same time my sister was going through her breast cancer treatment, but hers has started earlier, pre-COVID. And so there was this stark difference of going to treatments with support
yes,
because you're very sick. You don't feel great when you leave
right,
those treatments, and then you all of a sudden have to walk this journey by yourself.
yes,
So on top of it being stressful anyway because it's cancer, now cancer patients during COVID were literally like they were on their
they're
own.
on their
And
own.
once you got to the hospital, to the clinic, you
That was
just
it.
went through those doors by yourself. And
Yes,
so I think, if you haven't lived with somebody who's gone through that, to understand how it's not like going to a regular doctor's visit by
no,
yourself.
no,
And so to come out of that, not just alive, but to still be thriving is really, really remarkable. And just a testament to your fortitude.
yes,
This is another thing you touched on that we talk about is the importance of community. Um,
definitely,
and not community during, like, you need community during the good times so that when trials come, you already have that in place.
definitely,
So it's
yeah.
not about what you need right now because, we never know. None of us plans for any of these things to happen.
Never, you never know what might happen. And I'll give a credit. Doctors are great, but when you're going through that situation too, the nurses are the ones who
Yeah.
really take care of you.
Yeah.
So be kind to your nurses.
That no, as someone with 30 plus years in healthcare, that is it. That's who you spend most of your time with.
Yes, yes. So be nice to them.
Absolutely. So shout out to all the nurses and teachers, unsung heroes. So let's talk about how now we're talking about community. Sister Girl Chronicles has really become more than a blog. It really is a global community for women over 50. So, what did you see in the travel industry, or were you even looking at it that way that made you say this thing needs to exist? Like, I created Maison 276 because what I needed and many other women needed to take care of their hair in a healthy way
Right.
actually didn't exist. So, what did you see that made you say, this needs to be more than a lifestyle? This needs to really, I need to drill down on a particular topic.
When I first started writing, I actually went to a travel conference. It's called Women in Travel Summit. And the first year that I went, I think it was 2018. It was pre-pandemic. And there was a woman there. She was from Atlanta, actually. And she had a marketing agency or advertising agency or something. And I remember her saying to me, because she and I were probably like the oldest ones there. And she said, you have a market, don't you? And at first it didn't click. I was like, I'm just here trying to
Usually
learn.
doesn't.
I'm trying to learn about, this whole writing journey and blogging and things like that. And she said, don't forget it. You have a market. You got to figure out how you're going to best settle into it and what you're going to put into it. And from there, I started to kind of see that we're forgotten in that market, despite the amount of money that we are spending on travel and everything else. Our marketers just kind of forget, but we have the money, we have the time.
That's what we've been trying to tell them.
No, we have the money and the time. So, don't forget about us. And I started to just say, hey, I'm going to start writing as a woman over 50 traveling and sometimes solo. These are the things to expect when you're on these trips. These are the things that you should do when you're solo traveling or even in a group, and how you plan, and just little bits of information. And saying also, as we get older, remember, we can't do all that we used to do. So just be careful and give little bits of information about, is this destination great for older travelers? So it started to pick up. And I started to see more women doing the same thing, writing for women over 50. And it's funny because some of the younger influencers and content creators that I first met, they were younger. So now they're getting closer to 50 and they're like, oh, I see it. I see it.
As our grandparents would say, keep living.
Right. We told you. So there are a lot more of us now, but we're still working on getting marketers to see us for who we really are and for what we need when we travel. And I think the hotels do a better job of it than some destinations.
Okay.
We're starting to see some travel companies that are doing some trips specifically for women over 50, which is good. So that gives people more confidence too. If they want to travel solo, they can book with these travel companies where you won't really be alone. You may have your own room, but you still have that community traveling.
Peer group.
Yes.
Yeah, you're not with a bunch of 20-year-olds who want to go bungee jumping.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. I mean, you really are, you're not defining the industry because it exists, but you're giving voice to the consumer.
Exactly.
You're giving voice to her and giving her information that's very, very specific to her needs, and her lifestyle. So if you guys have any questions, I got a lot of questions, but if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. This is so great. And like, and so many of the questions that I had, she actually already answered. Like,
okay.
How did she go from the superhero to the sister girl in real life? I just love it. What would you say are, just off the top of your head, the top 3 destinations for women over 50?
It's hard to say because it depends on what you like to do.
Oh, that's a great point. Okay, I'll just use myself as an example. For me, I love a beach vacation because I don't want to do all the things that I do in my regular life, like the getting dressed up and hair, I just want to lay out with lots of sunscreen, hydrate, and just have people bring me food and adult beverage. Like, that's all I want to do.
That's all.
I want to disconnect. Hear good music, good restaurants. It seems simple, like a simple thing, but I have found that the brochures and the marketing materials always don't deliver.
That's experience. That's true. I've been to a couple of places, and I was in Jordan some years ago, and I wanted to see Petra, of course, one of the 7 wonders of the world. And then we went to the Dead Sea. And because it's such a dry climate, there were a lot of flies.
Oh.
I said, now, this is not what they tell you.
And you're just like,
I can't take it.
Right. Scared to open your mouth because.
Right.
I'm already imagining. See, we're not saying
take a picture,
Jordan. She's just saying, be prepared.
Be prepared. But so beach, there's of course, people first think about the Caribbean.
Yeah, that's where my mind automatically goes.
And it's perfect because there are some beautiful beaches. Grace Bay in Turks and Caicos is like it's been voted as one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. And it is gorgeous. But don't miss out on South America. Of course, Brazil. We were in Peru and Ecuador. There are some spaces there where, of course, the Pacific
Mhm.
Ocean, so there are beaches there. Central America, of course, Costa Rica, if you haven't been there. Not only Costa Rica for the beaches, because they're on the Pacific and they have the Caribbean. And on the Caribbean side, you'll see the Afro Costa Ricans.
Okay.
But you can also get the whole tropical forest in Costa Rica. There's the volcano area. They have hot springs. That's where that you can get in the water and the hot springs are rolling off you. So
I need that right now.
you need that right now. But Costa Rica is the place. It is. It is.
Well, we got some great questions in here. First of all, well, let's start since we were talking about places. I'll start with that question. Are there any places in the Middle East that you recommend?
Well, right now,
That's what I was going to say. We don't want to make this, we're not going to make this a political
no,
discussion. But
but
having said that, based on your experience,
mhm. Everyone likes going to Dubai. I mean, it's okay. It's to me, it's like Vegas in the desert
hmm,
because it's the bright lights, it's the shopping, it's if
that's a great analogy.
yeah. But I say experience it. Now it's a long plane ride, but experience it's going to be a 13, 14-hour plane ride, but experience it. Now, I will say Northern Africa, which kind of almost touches on the Middle East.
Mhm,
You have Morocco and you have Tunisia. So those are two very good places. And they have beaches on the Mediterranean.
mhm.
They have good food. So don't forget about, Northern Africa. And
Okay.
then while you're in Africa, why don't you just go down a little further to, safari on the east, Kenya, Tanzania. Some they say Tanzania.
Okay.
You can cover Africa, South Africa, go back up to Ghana, Senegal.
She's got us going for a month so far.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hashtag goals. Hashtag goals. We all got to have goals. We all got to have goals.
Just look at the map and say, hey, I want to go there.
We're going to check with Sister Girl Chronicles first, though. Um, Shauna says, how many places have you traveled and which was your favorite? Oh my. Do you keep track of the number of countries?
Yes, because I have a map where I do push pins of
Mhm.
every place that I've traveled. So far, it's been about 45 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, 45 countries. My favorite, it's hard to say.
How about top three?
New Zealand, New
Okay.
Zealand was one.
Okay.
The natural beauty is something you need to see. It
Okay.
really is. Uh, oh, you're going to make me choose top three. Oh,
45. That's probably hard, Shauna, to get her to get. I knew she wasn't going to say one.
um, Tunisia, not Tunisia. Tanzania, I enjoyed. I enjoyed that not only for the safari and Zanzibar, but the people were so kind, and they were so happy to see people that look like us. Because most of the time they see people from Europe instead
Right.
of uh, African Americans.
Right. Anyone from the diaspora. Yeah.
Exactly. And where else? It's hard to choose. Egypt.
Okay.
Yes,
And what about tropical? Well, you talked about Costa Rica a lot, so it sounds like you really like Costa Rica.
I like Costa Rica. I like Turks and Caicos because I'm a beach bum too.
Okay, see, we have that in common.
Yes, I am a beach bum, and I loved being. I took that walk every day on the beach, at least
Yeah,
twice a
yes,
day.
yes. I'm that person. I'm gonna get up in the morning and go run. I don't care if my knees hurt. I just want to run on the sand with just endless ocean to my
And
left
listen
or
to the
right.
waves.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's yeah, absolutely. Um, So Shauna also wants to know, what are your goals for your business right now,
I am
or just
trying.
life going forward? Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to get more partnerships for one,
Like
from
sponsorships?
sponsorships, from destinations, so that we can show more women, okay, these destinations are friendly for those of us who are over 50
Okay.
and over 60. That's one thing. I need to get my podcast going again. I kind of put it to the side. So that's another goal. And I want to write another book. I did the Silver Suitcases travel guide for women over 50. But now I want to write
Wait, hold up, put a
something.
pin in that. I'm going to, she has a ton of resources, y'all, on her website. I'm going to put all of that information in the show notes for the replay. Just a ton of information. She just kind of, she's so used to putting out all of this information that she just kind of mentions it in passing. But you definitely, regardless of your age, I think it is a phenomenal, just in general, a great information for on travel, and particularly to places we may not be thinking of going to. I mean,
Mhm.
so I just saw a lot of the destinations on her website, and I was like, huh, I didn't think about that. Huh. You know, because you kind of think about what's in front of you
Yes.
all the time. Who's got the most commercials or the most, social media presence.
Yes.
That's not necessary. That has its place in choosing a vacation, but there's so much more to it. And I'm a data nerd. Like, I like the information. When I go to a place, I don't want any surprises.
Me neither. I don't want any, but
I don't
there's
want
always a
no
surprise.
surprises. So I'm going to do a lot of, so definitely, regardless of your age or where you're thinking about traveling. So that information is going to be in the show notes. If you're just hopping on, welcome to Coffee with Angel. We gather here every Friday for a community chit chat about a lot of different topics. Today, we moved one of our community members from the chat to the stage. I'm here with Cassandra. She is known as Sister Girl Chronicles, and she is one of the nation's leading travel bloggers for women over 50. But frankly, this information is great for anyone. So, okay, let's see. What there was another question in here. These are great questions. A well-traveled person is an empathetic. That's interesting. Shauna says a well-traveled person is an empathetic person. You will have so much gratitude when you see the world outside of the country.
That is very, very true. You will see how people live, how they try, how their perspective, not, and sometimes their perspective of us as
Mhm.
Americans,
It's usually not
or,
great.
well, it depends. Sometimes, they think their perception of America before, we're not going to do politics, but their
Mhm.
perception has always been it's that land of opportunity
Yes.
and money. And sometimes their perception is that as African Americans that we are rich, when that's not necessarily true because we are Americans.
Oh, well, that,
Yeah,
you know what, that brings up an interesting point, because I have read in other places where you are just viewed as an American first.
exactly.
And it's because, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
but you do have this sense of empathy. Every journey or every trip is a learning experience.
Hmm.
And what you come away with from that place should give you some type of empathy
Right,
as you always try to at least talk to the everyday people, not just the tourist guides and
right,
things like that. We're the real people, as they say. We're like the young people. Where the real people at?
right.
I
I do
need to talk
think
to
that's
them.
important. Yeah, but you do have to be careful, because tourists are targets. So you do have to
Yes,
be wise. Like,
of
you can't
course.
just
Oh
be.
yeah,
I mean, I tell people that about going to my hometown. So it's like, I mean, or any city you don't know, I should say. I any city.
Yes, you have to be safe. You have to take precautions. Keep your head on a swivel.
Right,
Know where you are. Tell people where you are, and
right.
ask questions before you go to certain places. You know, if you're at a hotel, ask the concierge or the people at the desk, "Hey, is this safe?" Even before you take a taxi or an Uber, just asking those basic questions about
Right.
safety so that you come back home in one piece.
Do you have a this is a question from the chat. Do you have a specific blog on your website that is literally just about travel safety tips?
No, I have. It's in my book.
Okay.
What I try to do, and even on a couple of the YouTube videos that I've done recently, I did one on Thailand and I did one on Australia and uh, one other one, and I mentioned the safety tips for people. But that's a good idea. I can do one specifically on safety, and a
Now, is
lot
it
of it's
a
common
digital
sense.
book?
Hmm?
Digital book or a physical book?
It's a physical book.
Okay, so we gotta go get the book, y'all.
Or you can get if it's available on Amazon, so you can do Kindle also.
Okay, okay. But all of those links are on the website, yes?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So, y'all know I always say about an hour after we finish the live, then all of the show notes will be complete. So if you're joining us live, you can come back to it later today or tomorrow, or whenever you're getting ready to plan your next trip. And all of that information will be in the show notes. Let me hop on over to Instagram and see if they have some questions. Good morning, y'all. We're having such a great chat with Cassandra, otherwise known as Sister Girl Chronicles, one of the nation's top travel bloggers for women over 50. Thank you again so much to all of you who stayed during the technical difficulty.
Yes, yes.
This is my first time bringing on a guest live. I have done some interviews before, but they were
Mhm.
always on site. And so over the past couple of weeks, because of the conversation in the chat and various women with various expertise, when I finished last week, I was just like, I need to have guests virtually. I don't have to always just be
In
next to them.
person.
Like you're
Right,
not. Like
right.
that is the whole point of the interweb. And I watch so many podcasts where the guests are literally just side by side like this. And it's like, you can do this too. So I'm really looking forward. We have some amazing people
You
in our
do.
community, in the Beauty of Aging, the Maison 276 community. So we'll be hearing a lot more from some of them that have been dropping gems of wisdom in the chat, but we're going to bring them on stage and give them a full morning to do a deep dive. Good morning, Rebecca from Detroit. Thank you so much for joining us. Um, you guys, I'm going to give you one more chance to ask one last question before we wrap it up. This has been so great. Thank you, Cassandra, for being my first virtual guest on the virtual
Oh,
stage. I appreciate
thank
it.
you for having me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. More to come. And as we might do some annual things as people are getting ready for vacation. I do think right now, because things are just a little unsettled,
Yes.
people do have some anxiety about travel. I've just
Mhm.
talked to a lot of my friends over the last few months, and people are anxious. Um, I had one friend say, she's staying in the States. And
Mhm.
so, what are some places that we may not think of? We all know the touristy places, right?
Right.
Places that you would get from Google. But what are some places that, if someone wanted to stay safe, stateside, but feel
Mhm.
like they're getting away, what are some places you would recommend?
Well, every state has, I would
They
say,
want to leave the state.
they want,
Yes.
yes, but every state has what they call a DMO or a tourism office.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go if you, for example, if I'm in Illinois and I want to go to, I'm not going to say Florida because that everybody goes to Florida.
Right. Oh, I see
Um,
what you're saying.
right.
Go to that state's travel
Yes. To
bureau.
see
Okay.
where, right. So for
So if I
example,
want to go to, if I want to go to California, I live in
yeah,
Texas. Go to the California Travel Bureau.
and see what
Okay.
they have to offer, and if it fits what you want to do. For example, I've never been to Colorado, and I would
Okay.
love to see Colorado. So, do I want to go to Denver? Do I want to go to Aspen? Where do I want to go? And depending on what I want to do, because I like wellness things. So I
Okay.
want to be in
Well,
nature.
Colorado's the place.
Yes, I want the spa. I want all of that. So where do I get it? And they will give you an itinerary, which is really nice too. Yes. But speaking outside of the states now, you think about North America, Canada. Don't miss out on Canada. Toronto, Quebec City, Montreal,
Yeah.
right? Banff in Alberta, Canada, where you have the Canadian Rockies. Absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you for
Absolutely
expanding that because I
gorgeous.
said stateside, but you're correct.
Right.
You North America.
Alaska. Alaska is gorgeous. And I mean, you can do a cruise, but I didn't do a cruise. I went, and it's the geography is spectacular.
Is it?
And just
But it's a little nippy for us beach bums. It might be a little nippy at
yeah,
this.
it might be a little, but if you go August, you might get 70 degrees.
You can survive with a
You can
sweater.
survive that, yes.
Yeah.
I went in September, it was in the 50s,
Okay.
and it wasn't cold to me, but it was
Well, right. You're from
right.
Chicago.
And I was like, oh, this feels good.
Right. It is all relative. It is all
New
relative.
Mexico, New Mexico, Santa Fe, Albuquerque are beautiful. You have the mountains and just a lot of things that you can do. The Native American heritage and things there. Arizona, of course, is nice, except in the hot summertime.
What is the desert?
It is the desert. If you like national parks, definitely Arizona has the Grand Canyon and a couple of others that are exceptionally beautiful. Now, on the East Coast, Maine, Portland, Maine. You wouldn't think it's a nice place to visit, but it is. It's on the water. Now, they don't get as warm either as some of the other
Right.
places.
Water, but not beach in the
Right.
sense of
But good eating,
all the seafood.
lobster,
Yeah.
all the
All the
seafood.
seafood. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well,
So,
that's right up my alley as a Gulf Coast girl. So
yeah, you would love the food. You would love the food. So you got a lot of options, 50 whole states.
that's true. That's another blog idea. If you want to stay close, like to home
You have
ish,
options.
close. You named like 20 places,
Hmm.
many of which I have not been to. So
Portland, Oregon. Don't forget Portland, Oregon too. It's on a coast,
all that
Seattle,
northeast kind of corridor. No, I'm sorry, northwest
Northwest.
corridor. Yeah, the
Yes,
Pacific Coast corridor. Yes,
yes. And Portland is a wine and foodie town.
they do. They have Portland, Oregon, and Washington have really good wines. If you're a wine person, they have really, really good
Really
wines.
good wine. And in
Yes.
sometime in September, Portland, Oregon has a huge wine festival in the middle of downtown.
Oh, okay. Carolyn says she totally agrees with the individuals that individual states have beautiful sites. Absolutely. Shauna wants to know how often you travel and how do you choose your next destination? It's a great question for someone that's been to 45 countries.
How often do I travel? That depends. Like last year, 2026, I took 4 major trips.
Okay.
Yeah, we started out in January in Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji. That was 25 days. Then we went to, let's see, where to go? Thailand, Morocco. I'm missing something somewhere.
Oh, God.
What am I missing? And how do I choose it? I I like going to places with kind of like ancient history
Mm,
and seeing things that were built centuries ago,
mm.
and you're wondering how are they still standing
Literally, and still being used.
and still being used. I also like good food. That's another thing that I really like. So I start looking at it that way, thinking about what do I want to see while I'm there and what do I want to do. And if it doesn't match, then it's like, okay, we'll put that to the side. And sometimes I have to look at travel times. Because what I will say, as we get older, that travel time, those long 16-hour flights are hard. They're
You
hard.
gotta schedule your movement actually. Like you just
Yes.
yeah.
And when we went to Australia, it was a 16-hour time difference. A 16-hour flight
And
and a 16-hour time difference.
right.
So, that gets hard. When we went to Bali, we had a 14-hour flight to Korea and then a 7-hour flight to Bali. So that's 21 hours in the air.
Right. And that's why these trips, I joked earlier that, she's got us gone for a month, but that's why the trips are long because so much of it is really travel time. There's
Yes,
a travel and the just recovery.
the recovery.
I mean, when you talk about being on a plane for 16 hours, then there's the time change. Even for a 20-year-old,
It's hard.
that's a lot. So, for even for just it's not that you're sick or anything, you're perfectly healthy, but you do have to factor all of that in when you're planning your trip. And that's why the length of the trip, it needs to be realistic because if you're gone for 10 days, you're actually not.
You're missing you missed the first day, really.
And then on the back end too, so at least 2.5 of those days they're travel. You're not really in the destination, and then when you're moving around, so it's a lot of it is just the time you spend either in the air in transit or just trying to sleep
Or trying to sleep. And do
to get
know,
on schedule.
right, when you come back and there's a big time difference, it takes your day for each hour of time difference, it takes your body a day to recover. So you
Yeah.
think about 12 hours, a 12-hour time difference. That's almost 2 weeks that it's going to take you to,
Right.
for
You're
your
very
body to,
sluggish. You're
yes,
very sluggish. I don't like going to the East Coast, not a big deal. It's just an hour. But if I spend any time in California,
yes,
I'm sluggish for a
yes,
couple of days. Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it should make that much of a difference. It's just a few hours.
right.
But yeah, it does. It does. And that's what, it's like knowing your body, just knowing what you need to function at 100% capacity. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing.
There's being self-aware ensures that you enjoy yourself when you get where you're going.
True, true. And stay hydrated on those trips. That's so important. When you're on that flight, that you're drinking your water, that you're getting up and you're stretching and moving around a little bit on the plane. You're putting on your compression socks so that you don't clot or anything like
Right.
that. Make sure your medication is on the plane with you, not in your checked-in bag. So little things like that may
This is why
make
we all
a
need the
difference.
book. See, I can tell you're a planner. One of the joke of my family where our kids are adults now, but I still do it. I still do it even when I'm traveling by myself. I have a list.
Yes,
I don't care if I am gone for 2 days. I have a packing list
that's me.
because the little thing that I think that I'm going to remember will be the little thing that I forget that will throw the whole trip off. Or I'm frantically now I've got to go shop to find it. So don't give us organized people the side eye about our Excel spreadsheets and list because it just makes life so much
It
easier.
sure does. And then I have people knocking on my hotel door. I know you have some of
Right.
this. Can I have some?
It's true. It's true. It's true. I went, I mean, this was years ago, to Europe for 2 weeks with my daughter. It was a school, a dance thing she was doing. And I had every kind of over the counter medicine you could think of.
Me.
You- All the, and I can't tell you how many people were coming to me for motion sickness stuff because we were in the Alps. And I'm just like, well, didn't y'all had the itinerary too? I didn't even get motion sickness, but I was handing out the pills like I was a pharmacist. Be prepared.
Yes, yes. That's me. Knock, knock. What do you need?
Be prepared. Cough syrup, antihistamine,
Antibiotic cream,
it's all the things.
safety pins, everything.
It will make your trip so great. I cannot wait to get this book. Fortunately, it's available digitally in case we sell her out, which but you just gonna have to get some more printed. So, Cassandra, thank you so much. This has been so valuable. Again, not just for those of us that are 50 plus. This is just great travel information. Love the destinations. You guys go to her website. Again, all of the links are going to be down in the description. Thank you so much for joining us on this special Coffee with Angel. Bold women making big moves.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for asking me. I really appreciate that. And thank you to the community that I usually sit with every Friday. So I appreciate it.
Carolyn, you're most welcome. We love having Cassandra on, and she might. It sounds like she's going to be an annual. Just, or if something comes up in the travel industry that we need to speak with an expert about. Now, let me ask you this: do you personally plan group trips?
I had actually planned a trip for April 2026 to Costa Rica. And then the world blew up. So people started, people got nervous and they started canceling. So I'm hoping in 2027 that I can plan a couple of group trips.
Now, and do you put these on your website?
Yes.
Like
I'll
trip
put them on
coming
the
up.
website.
Okay. All right. Okay, because a lot of times, especially as we get, as we're at this age and our children are adults, the friends get together and decide, hey, let's go to such and such place. And I know most people would love to have somebody else plan that.
But I do know a couple of other women over 50 who that's what they do, and they have some really, really nice trips. And I'll forward the information to you because they do have some 2026 trips going on this year. And they're African American women doing their thing, and they have some fabulous trips. And I've been on a couple of them, so I can speak to the good work that they do.
Perfect. Despite what you see on the social media, we're out here, y'all.
Yes,
we're out here. We just don't feel like we have to chronicle every step we make. That's all. But it's all good for those who do. You give us great ideas of where to travel, great tips. We love all the things. But we're out here. Girl Chronicles is proof positive. Thank you guys so much for joining me on another episode of Coffee with Angel. Cassandra, thanks again. I really appreciate it.
All right. Everyone have a great weekend.
Y'all, this was so much fun. I learned a lot. I got a lot of places that I had not thought of going to, or places that I might have thought of going, but I didn't know someone who had actually been. Cassandra's been to 45 countries. So, sis, if there's a place you're thinking about going to and you'd like to know some inside information, check out her website or just hit her up because chances are she has already been there. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have a great weekend. And by the way, we are ending March, right? And I told y'all I wasn't going to get out of the first quarter without using my spa gift certificate. I am using it tomorrow. I am having my spa day that my daughter gifted me for my birthday. I am looking forward to it. Don't know if I'm going to vlog about it or not, but I cannot wait. They're going to have to kick me out of that place. Bye, y'all. Have a great weekend. Oh, happy birthday, Shauna. Shauna says her birthday is next week. Oh, thank you. I thank you, Christina. I appreciate it. Happy birthday, Shauna.